In April 2024, Aric Almirola won at Martinsville as part of the NASCAR Sportsman Series. The win was a great performance for him, as Almirola started in 6th place and led for 148 of 251 laps. It was Almirola's 5th win in the series. For 2024, he decided to scale back his racing activity. Almirola had competed full-time in the Cup Series from 2012 to 2023 and competed part-time in the Sportsman Series for Joe Gibbs Racing. This was not Almirola's first stint with Gibbs, nor was the Martinsville win his first for the team. That win will be the subject of this video. Almirola first competed in the NASCAR National Series by competing part-time in the Truck Series in 2005 with Morgan-Dollar Motorsports. He became a development driver for Gibbs and started to compete part-time in the Sportsman Series with them. Almirola continued this role with the team in 2006.
The highlight of the season was Almirola qualifying on the pole position at Milwaukee.
In place of Denny Hamlin, who was at Sonoma for Cup Series practice and qualifying. For the race itself, Hamlin drove the entry. After failing to finish in the top 10 in 2006, the first 16 races of 2007, of which Almirola entered 10 of them, went much better for him. Almirola qualified on the pole position for the Daytona season opener and had 2 top 10 finishes, 10th at Nashville and 6th at Kentucky. The 17th race would be at Milwaukee, and it would be a weird race for Almirola. Once again, the Cup Series was at Sonoma the same weekend as the Sportsman Series, being at Milwaukee. Hamlin was slated to drive the number 20 car for Gibbs at Milwaukee, since sponsor Rockwell Automation wanted the better-known driver to drive their car at the race in Wisconsin, the state they are based in, rather than Almirola.
The plan was the same as what happened in 2006.
Almirola would practice and qualify the entry, while Hamlin was at Sonoma to do the same thing there, and Hamlin would drive in the race itself. Hamlin was not the only driver competing at both Milwaukee and Sonoma. Carl Edwards and David Reagan would also do that. Edwards entered the Milwaukee race as the Sportsman Series points leader, while Reagan was ranked 6th. Meanwhile, Hamlin had only entered 10 of the first 16 races and was 19th in the championship. Edwards qualified his own car, while Eric Darnell qualified in place of Reagan. While Reagan got to Milwaukee on time to start the race, Hamlin did not. The infield landing pad for helicopters was blocked, so Hamlin had to find someplace else to land. He was outside of the track and had not even landed when the field started to have their parade laps. As a result, the Gibbs team decided to have Almirola start the race from the pole position. At the start, Almirola had a decent lead over second-place starter Jason Leffler. Led the first 42 laps and appeared that Almirola had a great chance of getting his first NASCAR win. Following a lap 42 restart, Almirola battled with Edwards for the lead. As he was doing this, lap driver Stephen Wallace was directly ahead of Almirola. The following lap, entering turn 3, Edwards got past Almirola for the lead and Leffler moved into 2nd. Afterwards, Almirola remained in the top 3 and was still in contention for the win. By lap 28, Hamlin had arrived at the track and stated that Almirola should remain in the car. 28 laps later, Ron Hornaday Jr. crashed in turn 1 and the race had its 3rd caution period as a result. During this time, Almirola made a pit stop, as most other drivers remained on track. When he stopped, Hamlin got into the car and Almirola was done racing. Suddenly, the entry that started first, led the first 42 laps, and had not been outside the top 3 before the driver change, was now 1 lap down in 31st place. Under NASCAR rules, the entry's result would only be credited to Almirola since he started the race in the car. The reason Almirola was withdrawn was because Rockwell wanted the better-known Hamlin in their car for their home state race. Hamlin would work to get back on the lead lap. He quickly got past 3rd place Scott Wimmer, but Edwards and Leffler extended their respective gaps on Hamlin. On lap 100, Hamlin was in 25th place, but the 6th driver off of the lead lap. 20 laps later, the 4th caution period occurred when a multi-car crash happened in turn 2. When the race restarted with 124 laps remaining, Hamlin was the 2nd lap driver, behind Todd Cleaver. The following lap, Hamlin got past Wimmer, who was now 2nd. Then, on lap 145, there was another caution period. This time it was due to debris. Hamlin was the highest running driver off of the lead lap. so he got a free pass to get back onto the leader's lap. With 101 laps to go in the race, Hamlin was now on the lead lap, but was now in 16th place. 2 laps later, he had moved into 12th. On lap 156 of 250, Hamlin got past Reagan and was in the top 10. Officially, Almirola was in the top 10 for the first time in the race since exiting the car. On the 165th lap, Scott Legacy Jr. and Todd Bodine made contact, causing the former driver to crash in the 5th caution time to happen. Hamlin would make a pit stop during this period and was 4th of the drivers who pitted to return to the track. Following the lap 172 restart, Hamlin continued to be competitive and was on pace to get the lead, which he would do the following lap by getting past Mike Wallace. 113 laps after Almirola exited his car, the entry was back into the lead. Hamlin would lead for the next 51 laps. Then, with 29 laps remaining, Frank Cryer crashed on the main straightaway and the leaders made pit stops during the ensuing caution slowdown. Wimmer, Leffler, and Jason Killer got out ahead of Hamlin during the pit stop sequence. After racing resumed on lap 227, Wimmer and Leffler battled for the lead, and the race's 8th caution period occurred, due to Kevin Hamlin, no relation to Denny, spinning out. With the field bunched up due to the caution period happening again, Denny Hamlin had a great chance at getting back the lead. The race restarted with 15 laps remaining, and Hamlin was battling with the top 2 the following lap. As lap 238 of 250 started, Hamlin went 3 wide with the other 2 leaders and got the lead into turn 1. Initially, Wimmer continued to challenge Hamlin until Hamlin started to move away. However, a multi-car crash caused the race to have its 9th and final caution time. With just 4 laps left in the event, racing resumed. Hamlin got a good gap ahead of Wimmer, who battled for second with Leffler. Hamlin would be the first driver to cross the finish line. In the process, Almirola got his first win. Almirola had a weird first NASCAR win, in spite of qualifying on the pole position, leading the first 43 laps and never being outside the top 3. He was replaced during the race. His entry went 1 lap down. Almirola himself left the track in his entry, and, by extension, Almirola won. He left the Gibbs team at the end of 2007. Almirola's next NASCAR win would be at Dover in 2010 for the Truck Series, where he remained in his vehicle for the whole event. As of August 2024, Almirola has won 10 National Series races, including 3 in the Cup Series. The most recent of these wins was the previously mentioned Martinsville win, which, ironically, came in the Gibbs number 20 entry.